Morning Majlis, talking the stories that are shaping headlines. This is Pulse 95.
Morning, everybody. Welcome back to the program. We're discussing COVID-19 vaccines, the Pfizer and Moderna shots in particular. And that's because a new warning has been added to the labels here following reports and studies on potential side effects from those medications or vaccinations, that is. And according to the European Medicines Agency, Europe's health regulator, they're saying that heart inflammation is a, quote, very rare side effect of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, particularly among younger men. The medicine safety body said the benefits of COVID vaccines continue to far outweigh any risks, but doctors and patients have been advised to be aware of the symptoms of heart inflammation. These include chest pain, a feeling of breathlessness, or a pounding and fluttering heartbeat. They said that anyone who experiences these symptoms should see a doctor. They said these conditions are linked to the vaccine's inflammation of the heart muscle itself, known as myocarditis, and inflammation of the fluid-filled sac the heart sits in, known as pericarditis. Should people be concerned?
Absolutely, for sure. It's not something that should be taken lightly. Now, the Pfizer and Moderna jabs, they're mRNA vaccines, which really means that it works by training your body to recognize and also destroy a particular part of the coronavirus. It's called the spike protein, and should you get infected, obviously, with the real thing. Now, the mRNA, or the MHRA, says that it has received 102 reports of inflammation following doses of the Pfizer jab, and 7 cases following administration of the Moderna jab. Roughly 18 million first and 11 million second doses of the virus or of the Pfizer vaccine have been given out in the UK, while around 880,000 Moderna first doses have been given as well. Now, the EMA says that after 177 million total Pfizer doses were given out, about 283 inflammation cases were reported. And after 20 million Moderna doses, 38 inflammation cases were also reported. Now, while 5 of the European cases saw someone die, the EMA did say that these were all in older people or those with other conditions. And the cases were most commonly found in men under the age of 40 and within 10 days of the second dose. And the majority of those recovered quickly with the normal treatments for myocarditis and pericarditis, as well as rest. And the EMA is also making updates to list myocarditis and pericarditis as some side effects of those jabs. And the MHRA also said that the COVID-19 vaccines, they remain highly effective in protecting people from COVID-19 and have already saved thousands of lives. And these events are extremely rare, and they tend to be mild when they do occur. And they're saying that our advice remains that the benefits of getting vaccinated outweigh the risks in majority of people. Again, we're talking about hundreds of millions of people getting vaccinated and only about a couple of hundreds of cases being reported with those side effects.
Yeah, based on what the US regulators did, so EMA is also going to be making it mandatory that it is listed that myocarditis and pericarditis will be officially listed as side effects in the UK and Europe so far as well. Now, the other aspect is there was no link found for vaccines such as Oxford, AstraZeneca, the Janssen, which used the genetically modified virus, and EMA has also advised anyone with a history of capillary leak syndrome to be not given the Janssen vaccine. So that's also another interesting development. But in response also to these news reports, the WHO says that the benefits of the vaccines still outweigh the risks in reducing hospitalizations and death due to the infection. So that's the bottom line approach so far.
I agree 100%. And I think, if anything, having this conversation is more so about helping patients just be aware of the possible effects of what they're getting into in case they develop these extremely rare symptoms. So, first of all, knowing whether or not you have a history of heart inflammation. That could be a factor as to your choice of vaccines. If you have a history of heart inflammation, your physician might tell you not to take Pfizer. Again, we're not physicians here on the Majlis, and that's why UAE authorities had told people before taking your booster shot, make sure you consult with a doctor first. That's where they examine your medical history, your pre-existing conditions, and assess whether or not you're eligible for this booster shot. But on top of that, just knowing the symptoms of myocarditis and pericarditis, should you opt for the Moderna vaccine, again, very rare side effects. But if you get that chest pain or any symptoms of heart inflammation overall, it might be time to see a doctor. Even in that case, outcomes for patients with myocarditis generally are pretty good. They only require very short hospital treatment stints. So all in all, it's nothing to be too worried about, but it's something to keep in the back of your mind when choosing a vaccine and also speaking to a doctor.
It's all about a mental game, isn't it? Because, if you think about it, there's risks associated with everything. Even if you take your car out on a drive on a motorway, there's risks. We're at risk here as well. You never know. Fall asleep on the microphone, how badly you could get injured.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that happen anyway. So I think it's all about, if you are one of those concerned people, then I think best not to overread and over Google search these things. Go speak to your doctor. Have a word with them. They'll do a bit of a checkup on you, maybe an executive summary checkup, whatever it's called, and then you should be okay to take those jabs.
Exactly.
I mean, what's the safest thing that you can ingest in your body?
Water,
right? If you drink excessive amounts of water, that will hurt your kidneys. So imagine that. There's always risk from everything. So imagine taking a vaccine. So that's something else that you should keep in mind. Everything could pose a threat somehow with someone. So
yeah, you're
that is the case.
constantly making a benefit risk calculation throughout your entire life, and you're always looking to maximize benefits and minimize the risks. And that's what the doctors are saying right now. They're saying the benefits of taking the vaccine far outweighs the costs or risks that you're putting on yourself and your community by not taking those shots.
Well, stay with us on the Morning Majlis. We'll continue these discussions. If you'd like to have your say, then do so on the text lines 4215. Alternatively, you can also drop comments on our live Pulse 95 radio feed going on YouTube, and also DM us on Pulse 95 radio should you prefer that. Stay with us. This is the Morning Majlis only on Pulse 95.
Pulse 95. Between local lines. Notes from the Emirate.
The Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry commended the wise approach and vision of His Highness Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammed Al Qasimi, the Supreme Council member and the ruler of Sharjah, which has helped boost the resilience and adaptability of Sharjah's economy, as well as enhanced its stability and growth through providing a safe, stable, and also attractive business environment that boosted Sharjah's position on the global economic map. So this came during the 17th period meeting of the board directors of the Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which took place at the Sharjah Chamber's headquarters and was headed by Abdullah Sultan Al Uwais, SCCI's chairman, in the presence of Sheikh Majid bin Faisal Al Qasimi, SCCI's first deputy chairman, also members of the board of directors, and so many other figures as well.
Yeah, and beyond discussing the resilience of Sharjah's economy, the meeting also reviewed the semi-annual strategic plan for 2021, which includes a number of objectives, mainly focusing on revitalizing and supporting the business sector to enhance its ability to overcome the current challenges posed by COVID-19. Within the meeting as well, the discussions also focused on a number of future projects that the Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry intends to launch, in addition to highlighting the Sharjah summer promotions that have been ongoing and will continue until the 26th of August. That's going to be a lot of discounts for us here in the Emirate. The meeting also discussed the latest preparations for the 5th edition of the Al Zaid Dates Festival that's set to take place from the Expo Center Al Zaid from the 22nd to the 25th of July. Sharjah's getting busy.
It is.
No, it definitely is, because there was the Al Zaid Expo as well, was hosting the Eid al-Adha festival. which I only wish lasted for longer because it ended over this weekend from the 7th to the 10th of July. Great place for lots of people to be buying abayas and getting in, buying some new clothing for the famous Eid al-Adha festivities, and I think that's what we're counting down towards, and this is all courtesy of Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry, offering the young and rising entrepreneurs the opportunity to join these exhibitions and rent some space and also be able to sell and make valuable contribution to the economy. And the chairman also lauded the efforts exerted by the Chamber's employees, resulting in positive indicators during the first half of this year, such as the rise in the number of certificates of origin, which also reached 36,332, an increase of 588 over the same period. The SCCI Board of Directors also underlined commitment to consolidating the efficiency of the Chamber's institutional performance and their tireless work to preserve all gains made during the past period, reaffirming their determination to embrace best international practices. So really, really good news. But we're all hyping up for the famous Eid al-Adha fast approaching, and I'm sure Pulse 95 will be having dedicated programming during the holiday season to keep you motivated and updated throughout your morning commutes, your daily commutes during the Eid al-Adha. This time around, lots of people are looking at travelling as well, aren't they? Well, stay with us on the Morning Majlis. We'll continue the discussions here on the programme, and we are also asking you to join in the quiz question this morning. Nadir Ali is one of the first few people who texted this morning answering our city trivia, so shout out to Nadir. We're asking you, which city is known as the Big Smoke? And we are also talking to you about the famous aspects of the city, and one interesting fact that I did not know was the fact that there is a tiny statue of two mice fighting each other over some cheese, and that was in fact done and made to honour the two fallen workers who were working on constructing one of the buildings in the area. So that's what it was for. But you've got the famous network, the underground network of the city, and it is also they've got it used to be before making them as a train network. They had plans of it to be a waterway for people to float about and connect to different parts of the city. It is the capital city of the country, commonly known as Blighty, the old Blighty. So if you know the answer, text us on 4215. It is also the city hosting the final of the Euro 2020 tonight. Stay with us. This is the Morning Majlis, only on Pulse 95.
Pulse 95. The Morning Majlis, talking the stories that are shaping headlines. This is Pulse 95.
Well, a new record has been set in this world, especially when it comes to buying jewelry with a certain type of payment. And we're talking about a pear-shaped diamond. It's a 101.38 carat diamond. It was sold at an auction in New York for a whopping $12.3 million in cryptocurrency form. Now, it's becoming, or it has become, the most expensive piece of jewelry to ever be sold through such type of payment. Now, the person who it was sold to is still unidentified. He's a private collector, but this is gigantic. Yeah. I'm looking at the picture of the diamond. It's gigantic, and $12.3 million.
This thing is huge. And what's also huge about the story is the auction house Sotheby's accepting cryptocurrency for this type of auction. This is the most expensive physical object ever publicly offered for purchase with cryptocurrencies. So great to see major auction houses increasingly accepting cryptocurrencies for payment. We had earlier discussed a piece from street artist Banksy selling for Ether or Bitcoin as well, and Christie's also accepting payment in Ether for a $69.3 million sale of a piece of art there as well. We're talking off the air about the prospect of buying diamonds in and of itself, and diamonds is an investment, and having that conversation in the back of my head, it feels like it's probably not a good use of money.
It's so true.
But I don't know.
The return of investment for it's just really bad.
Yeah, like if I had $12.3 million in Bitcoin, I don't know, I might hold on to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously, you know that the value is going to increase, but I think Tesla might be a bit upset about that because they initially did say that you can buy vehicles through the cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, but then you can't anymore.
Yeah.
And then they're thinking, oh no, that money's gone towards those diamonds. That's what they could have made. But it is very interesting to see how the world of crypto has become so popular and such a normal thing now that even within your own friend circles, you'll see people buying it. So you never know what's going to happen in a few more years down the line, or even at least a decade.
3 more months even.
Really?
3 more months, you never know. Yeah.
Where people are going to buy it more. Is this the right time to buy it? You never know. But
Imagine buying a car with cryptocurrency.
Tesla was back in the days you could have bought Tesla. And that's why the value of...
Other than Tesla. You know,
Toyota.
it's like going to a Toyota or something.
Corolla, yes. Why not?
It's like I got cryptocurrency.
Well, back in the days, it was used to buy pizza. How many bitcoins was used to buy pizza? It was like a couple of bitcoins.
Yeah, that was like in the early days of Bitcoin. This guy bought pizza for his kids, and then today the amount that he spent on pizza would be worth tens of millions.
Or real
of
estate,
dollars.
imagine. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you go buy real estate with cryptocurrency.
I always think about those early Bitcoin people, what they think today. Like a lot of those people lost their wallets or somehow spent their Bitcoin on meaningless things. And now they're like, I'm so sorry. Why did I do that?
You never know.
Yeah.
Well, stay with us in the Morning Majlis. There's lots to get through. We'll keep you posted for sure. We've got the we've got the news headlines fast approaching just after 9 o'clock. But before that, we leave you with lots of music to keep you motivated and updated throughout the morning. And of course, we're asking you the famous question: which city is hosting the Euro 2020 final? That is the answer to our city trivia this morning. The big smoke. If you know the answer, text us on 4215. Let's move on very, very quickly. We'll be back again right after the news headlines.
Stay fit. Stay fit. Stay fit.
Staying fit, it is the big game, Euro finals, England versus Italy. Both the teams have not won the crown, or this title specifically, since the 1960s. And now we've got the big, big final.
Yeah, big final indeed. It's going to be taking place at 11 p.m. And what a game to look forward to. It's going to be a big break for England should they win this. And they are pegged as the side that probably should win this, Italy being the underdogs here. And the reason England's just so good, they've got such a great offense in Kane and Sterling, but they also have been playing lights out defense throughout the tournament. Jordan Pickford posting clean sheets in 13 of his past 20 starts. They just look unstoppable.
Yeah, definitely. Look, England's going to have a lot of pressure for sure. It's going to be home turf, a good home advantage. But the hype that's been built up to this game is coming home, it's coming home, it's coming home. It happened way back in the 2018 FIFA World Cup. England was so close to winning it. They're in the semi-finals. They lost out to Croatia as well. At that time, Croatia was in great form, but weren't a very threatening side. England faced that against Denmark. So they've had a tough game. So they went in and obviously lucky with that penalty kick that they did secure that win. But Italy's going to be a different bowl game because they've been unbeaten in 33 games and Italy are here with the bang. The last time it's happened before that a team has not qualified for the World Cup but went on to win the Euro was Czechoslovakia in 1976, Denmark in 1992, and Greece in 2004, claiming the European crown. So this is not unheard of for a team to do so well, but the Italians are they're a team to beat, to be honest.
Yeah, Italy is a very, very solid team. They're on a 33-game unbeaten run, 23 clean sheets over that span, so they're not to be ruled out. They've got an excellent defense with Juventus teammates Giorgio Chiellini and Leonardo Bonucci as some of the world's best representing there as well. And Federico Chiesa in the attack might cause England some trouble as well this game. So it's set to be a very, very competitive game. I really can't wait. I think everybody's going to go crazy for this tonight.
It's happening tonight, 11 p.m. Everyone's going to be hyped up for it. Let us know. The text line's 4215. But for the time being, the Majlis shall be heading off, because if too much conversation is going to jinx the game, we don't want to do that. But so we're going to be heading off, and let us know on your predictions and thoughts on 4215. But if you'd like to catch this as a podcast, where can they do that?
Head over to our SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple podcast. Just type Morning Majlis in the search bar. We're also going to be uploading our videos on the YouTube channel at Pulse 95 Radio. Make sure you subscribe and like our videos. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Until then, stay tuned to Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of The Morning Majlis, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.
Pulse.